So how is your own practice? I get a little bit curious here. Like, do you gua sha once a day in the morning or evening, or how's your day?
It changes a lot, and it depends on my need. Now I do it maybe 3 times a week, or if I feel like my skin is starting to look a little bit dull, I'll just grab
Mm.
my gua sha. So it's really according to need. I used to be really strict. I would do it daily for 40 days and see the results, and just to kind of also keep my motivation to see what can really happen if I do this as a daily practice. Um, and of course, the more I do it, the better the results. But sometimes life also happens, and maybe I want to do something else. But I make sure that I have at least 3 times a week, because that's enough for me to see that the results are still there, that it's not going down. But if I start to feel like a little bit more, if I'm stressed, for instance, my skin gets more sensitive, obviously, because I get more sensitive, and my skin is a reflection of that. Then I'll do actually more gua sha, because it helps the flow and the sensitivity to go down, because I'm removing inflammation from the skin. And then maybe I'll actually do it every day or every second day. So it really is about observing the symptoms and then working with that, and then grabbing the gua sha when you see the need. But sometimes it's a great way to start by doing it, every day for 40 days until it becomes a habit. And then you can also see what results you can get, and that's really motivating in itself.
So gua sha is not necessarily only for people who have a lot of time and have like a spa bathroom. You can do it even though you have a really challenge and have a stressed life and get it in and get it working.
I think it's even more necessary when life is hectic, because
Yeah.
that's really when you need those.
Question.
Exactly, that's why you need those 1-2 minutes where you just breathe and you do something good for yourself. And 1 minute of really doing it with full intention and attention is, it's enough to put that positive ring in the water that kind of
Mm.
just makes you want to do more good things for yourself. So
Yeah.
when I'm really stressed, if I can start my morning in a way that just gives me a little bit of extra self-love, then it's so much easier to do the right choices during the day, to make sure that my day continue to be this nice. And this, it literally took a minute.
Mm. I love
Otherwise,
that.
the other thing you can do is, I mean, we all prioritize a little bit of Netflix sometimes. Why not just do gua sha at the same time?
Yeah.
Or it doesn't have to be with Palo Santo or lighted candle or nice music in the background. It
Mm.
can also be while the kids are screaming and you're watching the news. I mean, that can be. It doesn't have to be so complicated. It's just
Yeah.
about creating that movement.
Yeah. And I love what you said about that if you start with this little bit of self-love and self-care, that it ripples out, because that's also my experience, that when you start a tiny face yoga practice, that it brings in and invites in all these other healthy and nurturing things for you. So I really love that. And I feel I see that in your school and in Calmlish. So for those who doesn't know, a school would almost be like it has like such a sound of like something dusty, but your place is really, really beautiful and nourishing, and has crystals and small golden mirrors in rose quartz, and it's so beautiful there. So I know that you try to bring in beauty and self-care also with Calmlish that reflects that. Can you tell me a little bit, or us a little bit, about how that is a part of your medicine or your practice?
I mean, beauty is such an inspiration for me, and beauty comes in many ways, through art, through objects that makes me happy and appreciate life. And that's why the school is full of crystals as well. I mean, to me, they are irresistible. And I
Mm.
think we have to seduce ourselves to do these little, daily good habits for ourselves. It doesn't come natural. What comes natural is being there for everybody else except ourselves.
Mm.
So beauty, and sorry for me moving the camera all the time, but I don't want to run out of battery.
It's fine.
Okay, there. See, maybe then you could also see all the crystals that was around here.
Yeah, it
No,
was a bit too fast, but I know like your gua shas are so beautiful, and And what I noticed when I started at your school, I'm a student there, but I'm also teaching, so I'm on both sides. Is that what really got me into adding gua sha to my practice was that I was allowed to use like face mists and oil and these beautiful gua shas made of different or from different crystals and stones. So it really is somehow a treat. It becomes a treat instead of something that we have to remember to do. Or
I mean, it has to be something that we look forward to, and it has to be something that, you know, that makes us excited, and that's why when I started teaching facial massage, it was without tools. It was just with my hands, and people loved it at the workshops. But then they got home and they didn't do it, not because it didn't feel nice, but because first of all you had to remember, and you know there was different techniques. And so it was not until we started to introduce these little beautiful crystals that you really, you know, you think they are pretty, so you let them be in the house where you can see them as a daily reminder to actually get it done. And then the techniques are really simple as well. And that's why I also really wanted to make this school like a spa. In the first few teams, I had these massive bathrobes, so people would come and they would just sit in bath robes all day. You know, we had foot baths, we had facial masks while we were studying, you know, how to become entrepreneurs, and it was great. People fell asleep, so I started to take away the bathrobes a little bit, you know, to take it out. But you know, having that, because we do this for ourselves, so we want to make it as nice as possible. And why not use these moments to, you know, to the fully and get everything out of it, because then it creates a good feeling inside, and we remember that when we have to go home and do all the things that we may be not so excited about. So it's about creating those positive habits by, you know, by doing something that feels good, whether it's studying or treating our faces.
Yeah, and that's so true to me. It's so funny because this your work has rippled out to my family as well. So my mom has got a facial oil and a gua sha, and she now calls her bathroom for her spa bathroom instead of just bathroom. So it's really funny that it really resonates with a lot of women, and also because I don't know why, but sometimes it is like you said, we put ourselves last, and it actually it's like charging a very empty battery when we then start this self-care and self-love practice of something really practical. So it's really tangible. You have the stone, you have the oil, you have the hands, or whatever you use, and then you do this this practical practice for 5 minutes or 1 minute, and then you feel better and have more energy.